and welcome to this latest video in a series explaining how to manifest health, wealth and happiness. My name is Dan from Love, Travel and Miracles, and I want to help you manifest the life you desire. Chapter 17. Manifesting Wealth. The difference between the tramp and the millionaire is an almost imperceptible shift in consciousness. Stuart Wilde. In the previous chapter on manifesting health, we saw that there is a fundamental truth that we are of perfect health, and that to heal ourselves we only need to heal the mind of dis-ease. We also saw that we are never healed alone. When you affirm you are of perfect health, these same powerful positive vibrations begin to heal others in our outer physical world. In this chapter, we will broaden and deepen these principles to that of manifesting wealth. It may occur to some of you even now, therefore, that you could replace the word health in the previous chapter with the word wealth, and be close to understanding the truth to manifesting wealth. This is not far wrong at all. As we shall see, manifesting wealth is very similar to that of curing mental disease. You will read in this chapter some new and very powerful material on wealth creation, developed through study and meditation. Specifically, this is in regard to your relationship with the rest of the population throughout the world. In the previous chapter, when we saw that you are never healed alone, you will learn there is an equivalent concept in manifesting wealth to be explored in detail, which it is key we understand. This also means it is important you read the previous chapter for this one to make sense. Further, I want you to understand that this chapter is primarily for those who believe they need money, as opposed to those who want or desire more money. The latter we will look at in more detail in a few more chapters. Poverty, or lack of wealth, just like any sickness in the previous chapter on health, is an illness or disease of the mind. I hope you have read the previous chapter on manifesting health. It is very important to do this in order to fully understand this chapter. To manifest wealth is the same as manifesting any other dream or desire. Decide what you want first. This defines your new state of consciousness. In other words, this is deciding to change from being your old self to being a new self. Your old self might be defined by you being broke, in debt, or having no job or regular income, and consequently having dominantly negative thoughts of being unhappy and in poor spirit. Your new state of consciousness is one where you live happily, you have a regular income, and you can afford to buy the things you want. Therefore, your thoughts become dominantly positive in your new state. We will look at manifesting wealth as a continuation of the previous chapter 11, entitled Mind Your Inner Speech. We will see that manifesting wealth and money is quite easy if you decide it is. We can quite readily and quickly move from one state of consciousness to a new state of consciousness. However, some person or event then reminds us of the old state we were in, and we are just as easily persuaded by our inner speech to move back into the old state, back to living in poverty. We will study in this chapter how to heal the mind as if poverty or being in debt is a mental illness. Albert Einstein said, "You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it." We need to change our mind about wealth through mental healing and by continually letting go of negative thoughts and limiting beliefs. In the previous chapter, we saw that we are never healed alone. There is a belief in society that to receive money, then we must keep it. However, we saw in manifesting health that we are not healed alone, as we also give out vibrations to heal our outer world. Likewise, your fear of poverty is being projected out to everyone around you. You have all the gifts you need within yourself to get out of poverty, but they are not for you alone. You must also learn, therefore, to give them too. If you are sick or physically ill, then you are withholding health from others around you, unless you change your mind and remove negative thoughts of disease. The same is true, as we will explore, of wealth. By changing your mind and state of consciousness, you will emit new positive and empowering thoughts of wealth to those around you. Choose to accept the gift of mental healing, and you heal those around you, whether it is for health or wealth. Do you not love the world enough to share your gifts? Furthermore, and very importantly, other people around you hold the key to you getting out of a life of poverty and becoming wealthy. My first experience in manifesting wealth in any form occurred about 10 years ago, over a period of 5 years or so. I did not really have any idea what I was doing, either physically, mentally, or even spiritually, but it is important I explain what happened. The only knowledge I had previously on the law of attraction back then came from reading the book, maybe two, by Abraham Hicks. I had also just read the classic book, Think and Grow Rich. I aimed to double my income from $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year. All I did is to write on paper a simple table comprising a 5-year period in which my salary rose by $10,000 a year, and then kept this paper stored away safely in my desk. And that is all. Why did it work? It worked because I did not need the money, and I had the faith to believe it. Indeed, my only slight regret is not desiring more and manifesting it sooner. Now here is the crux of this. I could let go of this desire I wished to manifest without any particular mental effort. I did not need the money, so there was no anxiety. I felt I could demonstrate being worthy of gaining recognition, and hence promotion in my current job, over a sustained period of time. Eventually it came about. After meeting a new colleague and was persuaded by them, I would set up my own company, which enabled me to reach the highest target income after this period of time. In the context of this chapter and the previous chapter on health, I had nothing to let go of. I was acting in accordance with my beliefs. Since then, my history in manifesting wealth has been mixed. There has been some extreme highs and some very low lows. I have manifested 6 and 7 figure sums of money, and yet found it difficult at times to manifest very small amounts, mainly out of fear or lack of self-worth. My main limiting belief has been that it takes time to manifest money, mainly through employment. This and many other limiting beliefs will be dealt with in this chapter. Manifesting money consistently that I could depend upon frustrated me for years. Over this time I read, reread, and meditated on various learnings from many well-known teachers. Notably, they are Neville Goddard, which is predominantly through the law of assumption and through visualization, using your imagination, which my own manifestation process is based upon. Other influential teachers for me include those of Dr. Joseph Murphy and Dr. Wayne Dyer. One particular teacher who has become a favourite of mine in more recent times is Sammy Ingram, a prolific producer of videos for YouTube. She has had a great influence on me since I started writing this book. I am indebted to Sammy Ingram for my learning of the importance of you deciding the rules on how to manifest anything, and then how to live and stay in your new state of consciousness by checking your reactions to daily events. This is simply an extension of the law of assumption, as we shall see. There are many good books and many other good works available on manifesting wealth. You will find thousands of examples of how people have attracted huge sums of money by, for example, winning the lottery, or setting up a YouTube channel, or through the stock markets. Now, I do not doubt these stories are valid. As we shall see, however, it is up to you to decide the rules in a peaceful manner. Today one can read hundreds of books or view thousands of online videos to learn many different approaches on how to manifest wealth. One book, for example, is Think and Grow Rich, whilst another video might suggest visualizing betting money on several horse races. I am not here to critique them or establish whether they work or not. They all will work. That is, if you choose them to. So where's the money, I dare say many of you may ask. You have created it, but then afterwards, you have blocked yourself from observing it in your physical world. It is still there waiting for you to collect it. I have said many times before now, I do not need to teach anyone how to manifest anything. You were born with this ability. But if I ask you after you have tried to manifest money, what did you expect to happen? What would you say? You need to ask yourself, and be honest, if you are blocking it with your assumptions. This will become the main theme of this chapter. This chapter promises an abundance of new insight and knowledge on how to manifest wealth if you change your limiting beliefs on wealth by healing the mind of dis-ease. We will look at healing your mind of lack and limitation or fear of poverty to remove your blocks and allow wealth to appear in your life. Fundamentally, focus is given to your relationship with other people, which I have not read anywhere else. You will then see why this chapter follows the previous chapter on health. This chapter builds on many previous teachings of others and of my own to understand the manifestation of wealth. It starts with the notion that there is no such thing as money. What is the reality about money? Firstly, what about in its physical sense? If you were to look down through the most powerful microscope into the physical structure of, say, a dollar bill, a metallic coin, a plastic credit card, or a paper bank statement, what will you see? At the low setting of the microscope, you will see atoms from which the paper or material it is made from. Increase the power of the microscope again, and you see that each atom is made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. Increase the power further, and you will see that over 99.9999999% is free space. By performing more powerful experiments to determine the structure of the matter present, and you will be left to conclude that all matter is vibrational energy that just differs in precise forms. You will see the same physical stuff that all things are made of, which is vibrational energy. It is the same for a penny coin, a plastic credit card, or bank statement. Money does not exist in a physical sense. So why is it that a plastic credit card, which is over 99.9999999% free space, can be used to buy food at the local supermarket? Why is it that a few metallic discs, which are 99.9999999% free space, can be used to buy a larger metallic object? We can see a similar theme when we look at the history of money, whether as cash or banking. This forms a second reality about money. Originally, people bartered by exchanging services or goods before the world began using solid forms of money. Various cultures around the world recognized the need to simplify trade by introducing a single portable token of value. The world's oldest known coin minting site was located in China, which began making coins sometime around 600 BCE. The first form of banking and lending is thought by many to originate with the Knights Templars or Templar Church. Wealthy travellers going on pilgrimages or crusades could deposit their money in, say, London, and withdraw it in another country. This was to mitigate the risk of robbery during travel. The Templars would then use this money for other services and charge a fee. They were clever people way ahead of their time. The Templars provided a letter of credit to the traveller to keep until withdrawal. This is nothing more than a promise from the church to pay back what is owed. These letters of credit were the forerunner of the modern banknote. On many banknotes today you will find the word promise printed somewhere on it. Since then, the world adopted banknotes and much more recently moved into digital forms of payment, including virtual currencies. Modern banks operate accounts electronically and do not hold sufficient banknotes or coins to cover deposits. If everybody with a deposit account physically went to their bank to withdraw their cash, the bank could only satisfy a tiny percentage of requests. Money, wealth, and even debt are all just one huge belief system based on promises which connects you and the population of the world. Yet there are coins, banknotes, and even gold but they are merely symbols of promises interwoven into a great belief system or structure. When you take a banknote to a store to purchase something, the member of staff accepts your banknote in good faith that the store too can then use this banknote in exchange for other goods and services. Otherwise, there is no such physical thing as what that we associate with money. It is the feelings of having money, being wealthy, or indeed poverty or being in debt, and hence their vibrations, that do exist. This is the second great truth about money. It is these feelings we need to manage and therefore bring about healing to the mind where necessary. The material that we make the symbols we call money are at a microscopic level made up of vibrational energy operating in free space. Our thoughts emit vibrations that interact with the outer physical world and return to us those conditions that reflect our limiting beliefs. People, events and circumstances and anything to do with money are assigned by us and being played out in that movie we observe in our physical world. Money and wealth are nothing more than a belief system that we continue to uphold through our habitual thoughts and limiting beliefs. It is how we manage this belief system in our mind that determines how much money, wealth, or indeed poverty we experience in our reality. There are perhaps as many limiting beliefs about wealth and money as there are people alive on planet Earth. Why is this, and what do we do about it? Limiting beliefs have developed in our minds mainly from ideas that we have to do something physically in our outer world to address the desire for more wealth or lack of money, which in itself is not physical. Consequently, the majority of us believe that to have money we have to be given it by somebody first. We may feel money has so much control over our lives. The mind has to be healed from this way of thinking to manifest wealth. We will look at removing limiting beliefs soon, but it is worth spending some time looking at the breadth and depth of our negative beliefs that cause so many people to go into debt. Fortunately, we do not need to fully understand all of our unwanted beliefs, as this could easily be a monumental task. We can more easily reprogram our minds for wealth simply using the techniques we have already seen presented. One of the greatest limiting beliefs involving wealth seems to be that there is only a limited supply to share around us all. However, it is thought that there would be approximately £1 million each if all the world's wealth is divided equally and shared amongst the world's population. How is that working out for you? Let me say that again. Divide up and share the total wealth in the world, and we would all be millionaires. To illustrate wealth and its limiting beliefs, we can think of the world's money system formed into the shape of a pyramid, with each height representing different levels of belief. At the top is a tiny percentage of people who have acquired a huge amount of wealth. They seem to find it easy to attract great wealth. At the bottom are the poorest, many of whom only have very low-paid jobs, or even live without a proper home. Whilst in the middle are those that maybe strive to work hard in a chosen career to be successful and achieve promotion. We all believe to some extent that to acquire more wealth means we have to climb up this pyramid. As you will see, there is another way. Your thinking, in particular your habitual thinking, determines how much money you have. If your mind is unhealthy with respect to wealth, or you do not believe you are abundant within, there is nothing you can do physically in your outer world to change from being broke. It must be addressed from within by taking control over money. Whatever your beliefs about money, you own them and you are responsible for them. Money is simply a service or function you assign to the actors who play out a role in the movie you are watching in your outer physical world. They fulfill roles which are a reflection of your habitual thinking. Lack of wealth or money is not misfortune or even bad luck. It is simply your inner mental attitude to money. To manifest wealth, we need to remove these limiting beliefs. This is achieved by first letting go of them, and secondly, using affirmations over and over to create new, prosperous and empowering beliefs. Just like we saw in the chapter on health, to change your wealth starts by changing your mental attitude to wealth. Create a new state of consciousness about your wealth and continue to live in it. This requires focusing not on what you see, but on what you want to see. For a few minutes now, I ask you to consider your limiting beliefs about money. Do you react with anger when something appears on the news or in newspapers about money? Do you feel anger or jealousy over other people's high levels of wealth? Your reaction to anything with a negative response is a sure sign of a limiting belief. Let us look at specific examples of limiting beliefs. Imagine, for example, that you have added up all your debts and wish to manifest £25,000 to pay them off. My own initial reaction would have been for years that I'd need to gain promotion in the job or get a new better paid job and save whatever extra income I earned for perhaps 2 to 3 years. However, there are thousands of other ways to manifest money if we just think about it. Why not just one person donates to you this £25,000? Or 25 people could each donate you £1,000? Or even 25,000 buy something from you for £1 each? There is an abundance of alternatives like these, but do you ever consider them? Would you walk past that street tramp and think about asking them how to become rich? We turn down so many opportunities to make money because we do not see them. Your reaction to any of these options will reveal to you your limiting beliefs. We will also see shortly that it reveals so much about your self-worth too. Your reaction to anything about money says a lot about your mental attitude to wealth. We cannot yet fully address limiting beliefs, however, until we also understand how they affect other people around you, whether rich or poor. One of the most important themes in this chapter to attract wealth is your relationship with other people. Specifically, it is your interactions and silent communications with people around you that, if negative, are very likely causing you to block wealth being manifested in your life. By understanding how you are creating the reality you observe, you can change your present state of consciousness to manifest wealth. We are all connected through this vibrational energy that makes up the entire universe. We communicate with each other through our feelings and emotions. The vibrations you emit are received by everybody around you, and they re-emit these same vibrations back to you to manifest people, events or circumstances in your reality. This is the law of attraction. All your brothers and sisters play a role in the movie you observe in your reality through your daily thoughts about money. You project your limiting beliefs about wealth out onto everybody in your outer physical world. You in effect imprison these same people in your monetary pyramid system, whether a millionaire or tramp. You are the prison guard holding them captive in your system, yet does a prison guard live a life any happier than their prisoners? Every thought you have about wealth projected onto people eventually returns to you through the law of attraction to keep you a prisoner of your beliefs. One of the most important lessons to learn about manifesting wealth, which we will look at, is that wealth needs to flow harmoniously. Nurturing harmonious and loving relationships with all your fellow brothers and sisters is so important. For now, we will look at what stops wealth flowing harmoniously. When you have banknotes or coins in your pocket, do you believe you can walk into a store and demand some kind of product or service? In believing this, you hand over power to this cash. Or do you pay with a slight resentment, believing this money is being taken from you to never return, and are therefore reaffirming its power? Are your thoughts about money competitive? Do you want more money than somebody else or certain groups of people? Do you react or get stressed out whenever you hear something about rich or poor people? It could be someone you know, such as a spouse or bank manager, or someone unknown, such as a politician. Also, do you believe you have to work hard for somebody else to get money? If you believe you have to work hard to get money, then guess what? Yes, you will have to work hard to get money. The law of attraction does not mean anything like that. Does the law of gravity say you have to work hard to fall off the edge of a cliff? If you work in a large organisation, are you silently resenting the feeling that you are underpaid or not appreciated by your manager, and you want more money and recognition? You are setting the law of attraction into motion until the day comes when the organisation decides to let you go. You dismissed yourself. Your manager is simply the instrument which confirms your own unhealthy mental attitude. It is another example of how the law of attraction works to confirm your inner thoughts. Perhaps as you read this, you are thinking of somebody who has prospered financially by taking advantage of others. The outcome of this should now be obvious. If we accuse another of robbery or fraud, we commit robbery or fraud to ourselves. It is the law. In reality, we are actually hurting ourselves, though the loss may manifest in other forms such as health and not just financial. Further, do you believe that rich people only have money through dishonest means? Thinking negative wealthy people will only cause the wealth you desire to vanish or flee from you. You condemn the thing you desire. Your vibrations will convict you silently. Always make it a special point to bless the other person and rejoice in their success and prosperity. When you do, you bless and prosper yourself. Perhaps you believe you can become wealthy by not giving anything at all. This will only manifest in others gaining wealth from you in return for nothing. You will not receive until you first start giving wealth, health and happiness to your neighbour. Then they will reflect back to you your loving and harmonious thoughts. This chapter is bookended by chapters first on manifesting health and followed by another on manifesting love. We saw in the previous chapter that you need to give healing to your outer world to be healed yourself. In the next chapter we will see that to be loved you first need to give love. All three chapters affirm that you first need to give an equal share of yourself before you can manifest. When you mentally attack anybody, your anger is magnified and blocks the truth known within that you can manifest anything you want through the power of your higher self. Instead, the best attitude you can have towards all your brothers and sisters is one of the utmost love and heartfelt gratitude. Continually say thank you to them for the reminder that you need to heal your own mind. As you heal your mind, then also love thy neighbour as thyself. Give to them as if you give to yourself. How do we heal a mind that believes in lack and scarcity in order to attract wealth? One of the most powerful truths about manifesting wealth is this. You do not gain happiness as a result of being wealthy. Instead, you gain wealth as a result of being happy. Choose happiness daily is the start. But what else can we do? The most important thing you can do is to stop reacting negatively to people and events in your outer physical world. Stop all of them. Instead, choose to be happy in all circumstances. Then you become a magnet to attract more happiness and prosperity. You may well be very surprised by now just how many limiting beliefs you have on the subject of money and wealth. So what do? We let go of them, all of them. Review your day daily and let go of any times when you have reacted negatively to anything associated with money, as we will explore soon. We will look at letting go to manifest wealth in more detail later. Each of these negative reactions and responses is due to a limiting belief about wealth programmed into your subconscious. You are upholding a pyramid of beliefs about money and the monetary system in your mind with your daily thoughts and limiting beliefs. Until we change our minds, we all too easily react negatively to, say, rising food prices in the supermarket or receiving just a small pay rise at work. In the Bible, Christ says, "I tell all of you with certainty, if you have faith like a grain of mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you." This pyramid, this global monetary system comprised of limiting beliefs about wealth, is the mountain blocking our route to manifesting wealth. There are two main options available to all of us. We can live in the outer physical world and do our best to climb the steep mountain to the top. This is almost always likely to end in failure and further unhappiness. Or we can live in our inner world and change our beliefs from within in order to melt the mountain of old negative programs out of our subconscious. Imagine two people, each with an ambition upon achieving the same ideal. One makes use of constructive thought and is therefore in harmony with the law of attraction. The other makes use of limiting beliefs and or destructive thought and therefore brings upon himself discord of every kind and character. Which one will succeed in manifesting a life they desire? When you learn and routinely let go of limiting beliefs, you will melt this mountain and also release your brothers and sisters from the very same wealth system that holds you in prison. Then you can reprogram your subconscious mind with new empowering beliefs through repeated use of affirmations to attract wealth. We saw the same principle previously in manifesting health. We mentally let go of physical symptoms to heal the mind of dis-ease. Manifesting wealth is the same in this regard. We do not need to identify all your limiting beliefs. They will melt several at a time like a house made from playing cards. When we review and let go of any negative reactions and responses to daily events, it is like removing one card, and which will collapse a large part of the house. This is how we melt this limiting monetary pyramid system that is not working in our favour. We thus far have reaffirmed with our limiting beliefs. The same is true of letting go of any negative thoughts or beliefs. With a more positive empowered mind, we can then learn to become a money magnet. You can have all the money or wealth you want or need to live a full, happy and rewarding life. The more money you have, the more you can build with or even give away. Why be satisfied with having just enough to get by when you can enjoy great wealth? You can be wealthy, you can attract wealth, you can become a money magnet. One of the reasons people do not have more money is that they are silently and inwardly condemning it. Some people believe money is evil, or that they have a subconscious feeling that there is virtue in poverty. Or they lack self-worth, believing they are simply unworthy of having great wealth. This is simply wrong, though I was in this state for years. You will emit harmful negative vibrations and use the law of attraction to your disadvantage. If poverty is holding you down, you can conquer it by becoming a money magnet. We live in an age of endless supply, and therefore you must accept that it is your responsibility you are not prosperous. What we get in life we attract by the law of attraction, and if you are not wealthy, then you are resisting it. You only become wealthy by becoming a magnet to attract wealth. In today's society, rich are often portrayed as selfish or even evil. The rich get richer because they think positively towards financial success and money. They believe in themselves and their ability to manifest their thoughts into more wealth and prosperity. Because of this positive thinking, they can master their ability to attract more wealth on the basis of past results. The poor think more about lack of money or possessions and tend to hang on to what little they have. Due to negative thinking, they are unable to attract wealth and prosperity. By hanging on to what little money you have, you only reinforce the lack of money. It will serve you no benefit at all to think like this. Ironically, it is the rich that think less about money. They simply let money flow harmoniously. Wealthy people are financially free because they have mastered the law of attraction and have a healthy mental attitude to money. Do you realize how much good the wealthy do for our world? Many own businesses that supply jobs to countless millions around the world. Whenever they spend time on money, they expect wealth to flow back to them. They always give first to attract wealth back. They are highly skilled money magnets. You will never attract money if you continue to see money as a physical entity in your outer world. Nobody will obtain great wealth by going out and getting it. This very thought implies that you have to take it away from somebody else rather than manifest it from within. This is a belief system that will keep you poor. To attract wealth, you need to understand and accept both yourself as vibrational energy and wealth as vibrational energy. One of the best books on attracting money is called Dollars Want Me. Do you believe that power lies with the ownership of pounds or dollars? Or do you believe that you have power over money? Do you sometimes think, I need money? Have you ever considered as an alternative that money needs you? Think carefully for a moment about what attracting wealth means. It means, among many things, that wealth must want you. This is what the law of attraction is, and we know it is always working. Compare the two phrases, I want money and money wants me. To say I want money is an affirmation that you do not have money. Therefore, you are sending out vibrations that will repel money, not attract it. When you understand what the difference means, not so much in the general sense, but specifically what it means to you, then you are so much closer to realizing the power within to attract great wealth. You are the center of the universe. By living in your outer physical world, you make yourself small and controlled by external events. Place your mind in the center and believe you attract all things. Then you will learn the truth and you will find wisdom in your mind and discover the source of all power. This will manifest first in right thinking within the mind or inner world, and then in creating the right conditions in your outer physical world to manifest your desires. This is how to become a money magnet. How then do we progress from a chapter on manifesting health through the affirmation I am perfect health to manifesting wealth by believing you are perfect wealth? We now come to the main part of this chapter, which for many will be a new outlook in understanding the manifestation of wealth. One in which the teaching I have refined and proven by several years' meditation and experience. I did not introduce the idea of perfect wealth at the beginning of this chapter because we first needed to understand what wealth is. We all have different ideas and limiting beliefs about money, some of which are conflicting from one person to the next, and is not as easy to assimilate them as say for health as in the last chapter. I now, however, have you all on the same page and we can move forward together. So what is perfect wealth? If you can first give wealth to your neighbour and then receive wealth back in equal amounts, such that the flow of money or goods or services feels loving and harmonious, then you are manifesting perfect wealth. Up to this point, however, we have been so used to either blocking the flow of wealth leaving us, or blocking the receiving of wealth with our thoughts and beliefs. All too easily, for example, we begrudge money leaving our pockets because we believe we are sacrificing it. Or we give more of our time than contracted to complete a piece of work in our day job. Alternatively, we begrudge accepting less than we feel we deserve when receiving money or service from other people. As this chapter concludes, you will see that self-belief and self-worth are very important. Wealth needs to and will only flow harmoniously between you and your brothers and sisters. For you, this means learning to remove the blocks from wealth flowing out of you to other people and wealth flowing into you from them. In the next chapter on manifesting love, you will learn that to receive love, you must first be love and then give love to another in the self-belief that you will receive love back in return. Now the key point here is that you do not lose or sacrifice love in giving love, because that love still remains with you. And indeed in this way love can only increase in abundance. The same is true of wealth. We first need to learn and believe that we already have all the wealth and abundance needed to live a wealthy life. Therefore, having wealth in abundance is a natural state. Just like perfect health is your natural state, as we saw in the previous chapter. Again, the same is true of wealth. How can this be true? Wealth or money is simply a thought. All wealth only exists as thoughts in your mind. We saw earlier that money does not exist in the physical world. To be wealthy means to maintain wealthy thoughts. In your outer physical world, wealth and money exist only as vibrations. The same is true of health and love. Within your subconscious mind, you have more wealth and abundance than you will ever need, and this is given you by your higher self. You cannot give, however, without first knowing that you first have. This is how the book A Course in Miracles puts it. Having had and given, then the world asserts that you have lost what you possessed. The truth maintains that giving will increase what you possess. I will explain what this means for wealth as follows. and explain later in this chapter the practical steps to take. Money is a thought only. This thought of money or wealth must first belong to you before you give. When you give, you only give its vibration. So here is an important principle. When you use money to purchase goods or services, or if you barter goods or services for other forms, you never give away that thought. You only send out its vibration, not the thought itself. And these vibrations will return to you with goods or services in accordance with the movie you observe in your outer world. The thought itself never leaves you. However, due to our limiting beliefs about wealth, something different happens when we exchange money for goods or services. We almost always replace the original thought that we had money with a new thought that we sacrifice this money in exchange for goods or services. This is one of the most important ideas about money that needs to stop. Not only does this thought of money remain with you, the value of the wealth of this thought increases in accordance with the vibrations received back. Therefore, your thought of money in your mind can only increase the wealth and abundance you already own. There is no sacrifice of wealth when you give money in exchange for goods or services. Perhaps in the short term you may find it easier to understand this in relation to love. When you give love, the actual thought of love stays with you. And if you receive love back, then the total amount of love increases. The next time you go shopping and spend money, choose to be happy and joyful that you participated in a harmonious flow of wealth. In doing so, your positive thoughts can only increase your wealth. Thoughts of already having wealth and visualizing prosperity open up the mind to manifesting wealth with like-for-like vibrations through the law of attraction. Just as in perfect health, being of perfect wealth is a natural state. Money and wealth are but thoughts that, when emitted as vibrations, form money and wealth in your outer physical world. It will be of no avail to continue to think that poverty is due to anything or anybody external to your mind. No person or event affects your state of wealth unless you give it the power to do so. There is nothing in the outer world that has power over you to make you broke. You have all the power within, through your higher self, to dominate manifestations in your outer world. I believe that when people express interest in manifesting great wealth, what most people want to know is how to attract financial freedom. In other words, knowing you always have sufficient wealth in your pocket without doubt, or fear of not having enough. Financial freedom to me means to be free from being broke and to be free to choose what to buy at any given time. To me it means freedom to have beauty, luxury, abundance and refinement. I am not ostentatious, but I love nice clothes, fine food, fast cars and luxury holidays. I have also learned from manifesting, however, that I can enjoy life more with less of these too. You are entitled to be wealthy. There is no virtue in poverty, period. Poverty is nothing more than a condition or disease of the mind. Therefore, if you do not have money constantly moving freely in your life, you need to break this cycle once and for all and start being wealthy within. The good news is that it is your birthright to be wealthy. Yes, as with perfect health, abundance and wealth are your birthright. Just as it is with health, in which you are the only patient and you are the only doctor, so it is with wealth, you are the only giver and you are the only receiver. You reward yourself in accordance to what you believe is the value of what you give and deserve to receive. As with health, you only need believe that you are chasing something you already have. You need to come to a place where you understand that you have the power to create wealth in your mind, and then your ideas of wealth will manifest in your outer physical world. When you come to that belief that money and wealth exist purely as thoughts in your mind, then you only need claim this wealth for it to manifest, as we shall soon see. If there is financial lack in your life, then do something about it. Get away from all negativity and worrying beliefs about money. Then once you master how to harness the law of attraction to manifest wealth, you will never have negative thoughts about wealth again. To be wealthy, you have to learn to become a person who believes they are already wealthy. Your higher self already knows what you need long before you do, and has already provided the means to be wealthy. So claim wealth now. It is within you. Therefore, your thoughts on wealth must be positive. Your affirmations on wealth must be attracting it. You must be grateful for the wealth you believe you have, and you must not be jealous of others who you consider to be wealthy. If you are currently broke, then think of what you might be believing or thinking or doing to attract being broke, and then learn to let go of these beliefs. There must be no thoughts of lack, limitation, and even fearful or revengeful thoughts of your neighbour having more or less money than you do. It takes only a subtle shift in mental attitude to go from being a tramp to being a millionaire, and it is far easier than you might think to make the shift in your inner world. We have erected all manner of walls of limiting beliefs to deny ourselves a life of wealth and abundance. In the next section, we are going to tear down these walls of limiting beliefs and erect new walls of faith and belief that you are already perfect wealth. We now arrive at the practical steps in this chapter. To start off this section, I'm going to be blunt and ask you to do something once and for all, if you have not already done so. Decide unequivocally how you are going to manifest your new state of wealth consciousness. There are no techniques in this book you have to use to manifest anything except for one simple principle. Equally, there are no techniques taught in any other books or videos published except this one simple idea. The only principle to understand is to consciously replace most of your old negative limiting thoughts of what you do not want with new empowering, positive and desirable thoughts of what you do want. How you decide to manifest wealth or anything else is entirely up to you. I only present ideas and suggestions of what has worked for me. They all replace old thoughts with new thoughts. If you adopt a method and believe it will work, following this principle, it will work. Let us consider an example. You wish to manifest a certain amount of money and you adopt the manifestation process I provide in Chapter 7. You visualize a scene over and over for a few nights before sleeping. It could be 1 night or 3 or even 6 nights. Just decide unequivocally and stick with it. Alternatively, you can decide to jump up and down on one foot shouting, "I have £1,000," and it will manifest. Do not make this any more difficult than it needs to be. Just do whatever convinces yourself that it will work and have faith in it. You may go to bed at night trying to visualize your dream or desire. Then you wake up the next morning and you have doubts you did not do enough or your visualization was unclear. Regardless, decide here and now, whatever you are going to do will work, and believe it without letting any doubts creep in. Henceforth, continue to believe in your adopted method and do not waver. Yes, you decide how easy it is to manifest anything. Sammy Ingram explains this very, very well in her YouTube videos. If you have never before manifested anything of significance, then decide today, right now, that you are going to do so. Decide how you are going to manifest and stay true to your word. Manifest being a manifester is a great way to start. All that the techniques described in this book and elsewhere aim to achieve is saturating your mind with new empowering and positive thoughts to replace old and negative thoughts. They are not some sort of magic spell to be used in exactly the way prescribed. They will, however, help you stay in your new state of wealth consciousness. Here is the crunch, however, and here is where you need to be disciplined. There is a significant difference manifesting a desire you really want, rather than trying to manifest something you really need. Consider trying to manifest a brand new sports car to replace your usual car. You drive your usual car to work every day, and you can visualize it being your new dream car without any stress. And once at work, you can forget about it for the day. Now compare this to trying to manifest extra income to pay off the monthly payments on a car bought on hire purchase because you lost your job. You have a constant reminder of your debt sitting on your driveway. So now it becomes very important to start each day by meditating to quieten your mind of habitual negative thoughts. It becomes very important to let go of negative and disturbing events from the day. It becomes important to remind yourself of your affirmations every morning, and possibly every hour. If, having used your chosen manifestation method, you can then carry on mental conversations all day as if you already have what you desire, then you will manifest it into your physical world. If instead you continue the rest of the day with counter negative thoughts of being poor, you will continue to manifest being poor. This is because you still have old habitual thoughts that manifest what you do not want. So you need to stay in your new state of belief, your new state of consciousness all day. This means thinking new thoughts of having your desire all day. For many of you, this will require you to adhere to some sort of daily routine to remind you to keep thinking positive, empowering thoughts from your new state of wealth consciousness. We will look at this in a different chapter. For now, turn your back on poverty and only have thoughts of being wealthy. Think of abundance and think of the method and plans to change your beliefs with the right thinking that you are abundant. Are you willing to discipline your mind to create a new state of wealth consciousness? Are you willing to give what is required to get out of poverty and become wealthy? You cannot expect to receive wealth without giving of yourself. To believe money can be received by giving of no service is to believe also that your fellow man can take from you freely. If you believe this, then you emit vibrations that will result in you giving away money or goods for nothing in return. Your next task, therefore, is to decide how you will contribute to society in offering a product or service of value to your neighbours in the world in return for wealth. This again is something you can manifest. Find your dream role or contribution in life. For some, this may mean searching your inner self very deeply in order to identify a life purpose. We will look at finding your life purpose at the end of the book. You could seek promotion or new opportunity in your current employment. Alternatively, you could start a new business, whether full-time or part-time. Consider that you want to increase your income by 25%. Then daily as you rise in the morning, set an intention to give of yourself an extra 25% of value in your service, whether in the role you currently have or in a new capacity. This does not mean giving an extra 25% of your time, though working more time could be a part of it. Instead, visualize yourself giving an extra 25% in value. Manifest how this will happen without having any prior convictions. Manifest that this extra 25% is wanted by your neighbour or employer. Let your higher self guide you. Alternatively, you could write a book. Your higher self may prompt you to write a book, whether fiction or non-fiction. You may start to write a few pages and consider to be not worth a few £100 or dollars a day as part of your book sales. Change your beliefs. Affirm that your writing is worthy and wanted. Manifest selling your book or whatever it is to hundreds or thousands of people. Whatever you decide is going to be your contribution to receive this wealth, it must be creative and harmonious to eliminate all destructive or competitive counter-thinking. Wealth will come to you as a result of positive intention to bring into reality any creative ideas your subconscious gives you using the law of attraction. To manifest wealth is to understand from your higher self how you can give the greatest service in return for financial freedom. Once you understand what your contribution will be, you are setting up a harmonious flow of money between you and other people. This idea of giving service in return for wealth is the subject of one of the first and finest books of its type, Think and Grow Rich. Do not think of how wealth will come to you. When a person has created in his mind the conviction that they are wealthy, They will be guided by their higher self along the proper paths to undertake the proper action that will achieve their goal. Offer up your desires to your subconscious mind, and you will sense an urge from within, a gut feeling or intuitive thought to take the next step. One of the main ways in which you have to change your daily habitual thoughts is to understand that all of your brothers and sisters are helping you to be wealthy and share with you the continuous and harmonious flow of wealth. Take notice of what they do or say. You will find sooner or later that what you seek is also seeking you. So you can firstly manifest wealth, and secondly you can manifest the route to being wealthy in order to identify a service or product to offer. It may be that you do not believe you can offer anything of value to your neighbours. This is simply a limiting belief to let go of, and instead manifest some product or service that is of value. We will look again at how your neighbours, your brothers and sisters, are important in the flow of wealth and in helping you become wealthy at the end of the chapter. Affirmations are a powerful approach to manifest wealth, as many teachers proclaim. Affirmations are a simple way for you to impress the subconscious mind with the idea that there is a constant supply of wealth in your life. Until now, you may have been habitually thinking of lack of wealth or even debt to create a mindset of limited supply of wealth. We can create a new state of consciousness to attract wealth by repeatedly using affirmations to help you become a money magnet. The title of the book, Dollars Want Me, is an affirmation of having the self-worth to believe you can attract great wealth. This ties in with the self-belief that you can be wealthy before doing or having wealth. To rephrase what we learned earlier, we affirm in order to manifest wealth for two reasons. Firstly, to believe we have wealth to give and can give wealth of ourselves in whatever form we choose. Secondly, to receive wealth in return of the value of wealth we have given. Choose a few sentences and repeat them over and over, either aloud or in your mind. Be sure to choose phrases that resonate with you and you have the faith to believe in them. As you repeat affirmations regularly and systematically, the idea of wealth will penetrate your subconscious mind and develop a wealth consciousness. Idle, mechanical repetition of the phrase, however, will not succeed. Instead, feel the truth of what you affirm. Your deeper self is responsive to whatever you consciously accept as true. It may be apparent to many by now that you only need one simple affirmation for perfect wealth. I am perfect wealth. However, this is only advisable if it is clear in your own mind what perfect wealth means and feels real to you. Equally, do not use I am wealthy if this creates opposition in the mind. Just saying wealth is a start that will sow positive seeds into the subconscious mind and is non-confrontational. As you repeat these phrases, imagine in your mind the what if you are wealthy and more successful. Most important, how do you feel if this were so, and allow yourself to feel the emotions they bring. You will know by your feelings as you say your affirmations whether they are true. This is what I do. I construct a virtual room as a state of consciousness for wealth that comprises 4 walls and a ceiling. Starting off with the 4 walls, here are 4 suggested affirmations in a question form to prompt a response from the subconscious that I have used in some form for many years now. Why am I such a powerful manifester? Why am I so worthy beyond belief? Why am I so abundant in every single way? Why am I so incredibly fulfilled living my life purpose? These 4 walls are questions proposed to encourage your subconscious mind to provide you with the answer. Here are some suggested replies, though best of all is to choose your own to be more relevant. It is not important you reply with the same responses each day. Just go with the flow. It is more important to develop and continuously practice affirmations and learning to listen to your subconscious for the responses. If you have read this chapter and decided how you're going to manifest wealth, then just carry on believing you will manifest your way. Continue to use affirmations until you are convinced and in no doubt of their truth. The 5th and final affirmation, the roof, is simply this: I am perfect health, and I am perfect wealth. Choose one of these affirmations or your own to use all day, every day, whenever you can. Assert your faith growing with every repetition of your affirmations. Another way to use affirmations is in the form of rampaging, as explained in Chapter 12. Here you start off a conversation with yourself, quietly or loud, using your usual affirmation phrase. Then carry on adding additional sentences that build on the initial phrase as if you were continuing to speak to yourself with how you can attract wealth, how you can give service, affirming that you will be successful, and how people will want your service and goods you provide. You can find videos on YouTube for wealth affirmations and examples of rampaging. You can use these to complement your visualizations at night before going off to sleep. I often listen to videos with pre-recorded affirmations in question style to prompt the subconscious for a response. I either respond aloud or in silence until I drift off to sleep, whilst visualizing the emotions I would feel being wealthy. You could alternatively record such affirmations for yourself. Put affirmations into practice with ceaseless faith and conviction, and you will achieve results. Feel the reality of already having the wealth you desire until it manifests in your outer world. Meditation, regularly and effectively, is vital, especially if you are broke. A powerful way to heal the mind is to meditate on the great truth that you are perfect wealth. You have a supply of abundance which has always been yours. Now this may seem extraordinarily difficult at first, and it has taken me years to fully understand this. I suggest you reread the chapter on health, and then this one again in order to develop the idea and belief that to manifest wealth is very similar to health. I have found health quite straightforward to manifest, whereas, as I openly confess, I found wealth more challenging. Your mind needs to be calm and focused to manifest any dream or desire, and in particular for wealth. One of the reasons that it can be challenging to understand how to manifest wealth is that we all too easily believe the body is in control of the mind. Therefore, all efforts to obtain wealth should be led by the body performing some form of work. However, the mind always leads. You are, as we said in the previous chapter, a spirit having a bodily experience. Your mind is spirit and is abundant and of perfect wealth. The more you can meditate on being of perfect wealth, the more will it become apparent what it means. Through meditation, your personal idea of perfect wealth, in terms of giving and receiving, will be shown to you by your higher self. I also suggest going for a walk in a park where you can enjoy nature and allow yourself to meditate as you walk. I call it semi-meditating. You are surrounded by nature where there is no competing for money or wealth. Only an abundance of all good things that enable flowers and trees to grow in peace and harmony. Likewise, you could take up jogging or running, especially in the countryside or park. Continue to meditate, and your service, your route to giving of yourself, will be shown to you by your higher self. It is relatively easy to let go of all financial limiting beliefs if you persistently follow David Hawkins' letting go routine on a daily basis, as I explain in Chapter 14. You can remove several limiting beliefs at a time following his technique. I can honestly say it works. You may experience people, events and circumstances during the day, perhaps almost every day, that remind you of your financial lack or simply your desire for more money. They are unwanted thoughts which also sap your energy and mood. I will now explain a nightly routine to heal the mind of lack of wealth which works extremely well for me. Also consider your neighbour as yourself. As you heal your mind, then release your brother and sister from the same lack and limiting beliefs that you project onto them as part of your monetary system, as discussed earlier. Write down all the times during the day when you reacted negatively to something you see or hear about money. Did you buy something with the thought you are giving away £50? Were you jealous of somebody else's money? Did you not get that job you applied for? These are all affirmations of limiting beliefs about wealth. Once you have your list ready at night, then sit in a meditative state and bring the list into mind. Read each item on your list and simply observe the feelings. Do nothing except let the emotion you feel hang around for a few moments until you can let it go, leaving it to disappear. Do this for every item on your list. It may seem quite a bit of effort requiring discipline at first, but it will get much easier. You will find, as with meditation, that your general mood improves and you are happier and more positive. This is all conducive to gaining more success in manifesting wealth. You are, in fact, giving these problems over to your higher self to resolve. Here is a further suggestion if you are broke. List all your debts, then go through this list at night and let go of each of them. Do not think about how they came about, what has happened in the past and what you may fear in the future. Simply observe your emotional and even physical reaction to each item on the list and let go of it. As with health, in which you let go of your symptoms of physical illness, then with your debts you let go of your financial symptoms. If you are broke, take responsibility, but do not beat yourself up about it. It only takes a second to change an attitude, bad habit, or even start a thought that could lead to a wealthy existence. When you let go of negative or limiting thoughts about money and wealth, you free up mental space and energy for more positive and beneficial thoughts about manifesting wealth. What is the scene that you can imagine at night time before sleeping that is being in a state of the happiest and loveliest feeling possible to attract wealth? Now is the time to be faithful and abundant by visualizing for true wealth. Now is not the time to be timid and visualize from a state of lack and limitation. Dream, and dream big so that your dreams and desires are impossible to not strive for. I have never knowingly manifested money from a state of needing it. This is before I understood what perfect wealth is. Instead, dream big and visualize real wealth flowing regularly. Dream big so that you can release you and your neighbours from the same cell imprisoned by your limiting beliefs about wealth and income. They want to help you as much as they want you to help them. Visualize being a part of the flow of wealth with your neighbour. Being wealthy is your natural state. All the wealth in the world is yours to share lovingly with your neighbour, and it is always increasing. Before you visualize, let go of your worries and debts and anything negative that occurred in your day. Choose a scene in which you are wealthy, you know you are wealthy, and you are enjoying life without limitation. How are you serving your fellow men and women with some service and product you are so proud of? Imagine you are already wealthy. What scene can you play out in your imagination that is truly amazing? Here are some examples. You may wish to take a holiday around the world or study abroad. Imagine a scene in which you are on a beach holiday or something equally beautiful. Somewhere away from home is conducive to manifest wealth where there are no reminders of your lack of wealth. Imagine surrounded by beauty whilst logging on to your laptop for a few moments to check your bank balance or to see what orders have been placed for your goods or service. You might ask, how can I feel happy if I had debts to pay? Well, if you were on holiday and all relaxed in total enjoyment, your debts will have been settled, otherwise you would not be on holiday. Or you may wish to raise a family and surround your one true mate and children with beauty and security. You may be doing the same job working from a new home with a beautiful new view, earning more money. In your scene, feel relaxed that everything is resolved and feel so very happy about it. Alternatively, imagine letters containing checks come through the letterbox every day. Or simply imagine money bills or notes raining down on you from the roof or ceiling. It is not the physical form of the scene that is important. It is the emotions and feelings it brings. You were born to win, succeed and conquer all difficulties. Focus on what you want or desire, not on what you need or do not have. What emotional feelings are you experiencing? What physical feelings are you experiencing? With all the money you need to feel secure, what is your life like now that you can encapsulate in a scene to play out in your imagination? Remember, it is about being wealthy now, not in the future. So be the new person who has that new car and still feels wealthy after. In your scene, you can say to yourself, I remember when I could not afford fuel for the car, let alone buy a new car. Say whatever is appropriate and give it the feelings of joy. Begin to feel money in its true role, which is as an agent to enable goods or services to be exchanged between one person or organisation and another. What would you spend money on if money is no object? What would you sell your gift or service for? You are here to fulfil your deepest desires. You have every right to live with beauty and luxury. You have the right to express yourself how you wish to express yourself. Imagine your scene and rejoice in it. Allow the feeling of abundance to be experienced in your physical and emotional feelings. Let it build and become stronger and stronger. Take as long as you need in a relaxed and unhurried way. It may take a day or two for this to settle down. Manifest finding the right scene to play out in your wealth manifestation. All that is needed to be happy and prosperous is to feel happy and prosperous. Recognize the power of your own thought and imagination in your route to riches and abundance. Accept the abundant life in your own mind. As you enter into the mood of abundance, all things necessary for you to enjoy an abundant life will come to you. Willing to think the right thoughts is the basis of manifesting all wealth, all success, all health, all happiness. It is from this choice of all thoughts that everything in the universe is manifested in your movie, playing out in your outer world. Once the choice of thoughts is made, your life is but a reflection of your thoughts made manifest. You decide every person, event and circumstance when you decide what you will think. You have chosen and used your adopted method to manifest wealth, but money has not yet appeared in your outer physical world. What do you do next? Also, ask yourself, what do you expect to happen? This is in regards to yourself and other people. To saturate your mind with new thoughts of your wealth increasing also entails expecting positive changes in your life to occur. This means expecting people, events and circumstances to create positive shifts in your life. Change the way you look at things and the things you look at will change. One of the most powerful means to understand how to attract wealth is to understand what you are doing habitually to manifest poverty instead of wealth. It is therefore very important you make an inventory of your habitual daily thoughts and let go of these at night in revising your day. Only what you accept becomes your reality. The more you understand this inventory, the more you can take action to do the opposite to become a money magnet. Consider you desire to receive an extra £100 or $100 a day. Set up an intention first thing every morning to create this £100 with no thought of how it will come about. Then work on creating this extra income, whether it is physical or just mental in the first instance. Just making this mental shift is so powerful, especially if you normally wake up feeling broke. As soon as you wake up, start flooding your mind with affirmations. Repeat your affirmations as you make your first tea or coffee. I always create and receive an extra £100 every day. Even saying just £100 every day is a good affirmation you can say all day, every day to saturate your mind. Go for a short walk and with every step say £100. During the day, imagine creating this extra £100. It might be something you do in your imagination in the early days. You may decide to write a book, so affirm that writing a new page of your book is worth an extra £100. Or you start a new assignment in your current employment. Affirm this is worth an extra £100 a day to you. Do enough each day that you feel you have given service worth the extra £100, even if it feels just imaginary at first. At night, list all the events of the day that caused you to have negative thoughts and let them go. Let go of every doubt you have an extra £100 in a day. Visualize a scene with this extra money coming to you daily. Then fall asleep on your pillow at night with a feeling you served lovingly and you consider your day a job well done. Go on thought rampages frequently. Use affirmations hourly to start conversations in your mind about attracting wealth. Have a mental conversation with yourself about how grateful you are having the extra £100 a day. What would you spend it on if money is no object? Let your subconscious mind work for you by prompting you with ideas. Let your higher self guide you by showing you the path to riches. Your route to wealth will appear in your imagination during one of these inner conversations. Affirm that money and wealth is wholesome, worthy and good, and that wealth wants you. Attract the positive side of wealth, so affirm the positive side of wealth. Make friends with money. Change your thoughts to be of success, of abundance, wealth, fulfillment, hope and love. As you think more positive thoughts, you attract more productive thoughts. You begin to resonate with wealth, and you will attract people who can and are willing to open up doors to help you attract wealth. Events and circumstances will move in your favour, and there will be coincidences that benefit you immensely. Now, what if I were to ask you to think of 100 ways how you could gain £100 in a day? Then I were to ask you to think of 100 ways how you could lose £100 in a day. Is it not funny how it seems far more difficult to think of ways to make money rather than lose money? This is a limiting belief. Instead, think of the many different ways money can flow to you. We have said many times that all other people around you are there to assist you in your manifestations. Believe that wealth flows from you to them and that wealth will flow back to you. Every time you walk past a stranger in the street, thank them for giving you £100. Imagine they are so thankful for the goods or service you gave them. It may not be them that eventually gives you money, but you are setting yourself up to become a money magnet. They are actors in your movie, but you need to give them the role you want them to play in giving you wealth. See other people as being prosperous and deserving of wealth. Give your brother and sister abundance with your thoughts and be filled with gratitude that they can give wealth back to you. If you see other people as living in poverty, then you attract like-for-like thoughts. You have imprisoned them with your own limiting beliefs. Remember, you are judging people, so you judge yourself likewise. Become a money magnet by only thinking of already having wealth. In everything with the law of attraction, we must not think about what might or could happen. Only think about having it. Believe you have wealth now, not in the future. Act like a wealthy person. Walk like one. Talk like one. Surround yourself with as much real wealth as you can and imagine everything else. If you can wear the best clothes, then do so. You can always imagine yourself wearing that designer suit you crave when you visualize. Buy the best you can afford. This will of course depend on your available budget. One thing you can do immediately is to start buying 1 to 2 pairs of really fine socks, for example, rather than 5 pairs of cheap socks. Buying cheap maintains a poverty mentality. Nurture a prosperity mentality and buy the best you can, and believe you deserve it. Never say, I cannot afford this something. Instead, ask yourself, why does this thing want me? Maybe you are out shopping and you see the watch you desire in a luxury jewellery store. Ask yourself, why does this watch want me? Spend money with happiness. Buy that daily coffee. Do not begrudge handing over money. Consider it an investment when you spend, even if you are down to your last bit of money. Believe it will return to you multiplied many times over. You are of abundant wealth. You are perfect wealth. Just like being healthy, being wealthy is your birthright. You have access to a supply of infinite abundance within if you will only heal and change your mind. Poverty is a condition of the mind. So, let go of the symptoms of poverty and develop a mind that attracts wealth. You deserve to be rich. Money in itself does not exist physically in our outer world. Yet we habitually attribute so many limiting beliefs to money that we prevent it flowing to us. If we would let go of all its limiting beliefs and change our habitual daily thoughts, we could manifest wealth in a very short time. Attracting wealth comes from believing being wealthy is your normal state, such that we can freely give wealth in some form as either time, goods or services to your neighbours in the world. Some of the wealthiest people who have ever lived first started out by realising they needed to give before they became wealthy. As in everything with the law of attraction, you must not think about lacking wealth, and you must not even think that effort is necessary to manifest wealth. This will only block wealth coming to you. You only need work on healing your mind, and the money will follow. Only think about already being wealthy, and learn to become a money magnet to attract wealth. Believe wealth wants you, and the opportunities will arise. Love your neighbour as yourself. See them as being wealthy, and see them being so grateful of what goods and services you offer. We often see having money as validation of our own self-worth, rather than believing it for ourselves. If you lack self-worth or confidence to offer anything of value to your neighbour, then we will look at how to love yourself in the next chapter.